I'll do Boots and Fundora.
Really, not Virgil?
Fundora got the bouts.
Okay.
So it's a unification.
Yeah.
And I enjoy Fundora just as much as I enjoy watching Ortiz. You know what I mean? Like, they both great action-packed fighters. But Fundora and Boots will make it a undisputed.
Oh, he gonna cook Ortiz.
Oh.
He gonna cook Ortiz just like he just got done cooking Zayas.
Who is the tougher opponent, do you think, for you, Fundora or Virgil?
I can't really say. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really say, you know, but some people might say, or some people gonna try to say it's Fundora because he's tall, but I love fighting tall people, so it don't really, you know, it don't matter to me. You know, I ain't gonna lie. The more like I said, the more I step up, the more, you know, the higher the fight is, the bigger the fight is, the easier the fight's gonna get for me.
Boots looks like he's supposed to beat Sebastian Fundora because he's so fast, because he's so electric, because he's shown tremendous power, because he's shown so many different movements and techniques, and everything jumps off the screen when it's Boots Ennis. But then when you got, like I always like to say, another weapon standing across from you, negating some of the things you do, forcing you to turn off some of the stuff you do. Now here's the thing that makes this guy.
When Zab Judah learned that Boots Ennis and Sebastian Fundora were reportedly discussing a possible unification fight, his reaction was full of excitement. Judah has been pushing for this kind of matchup and clearly wants to see it happen. For him, the possibility of Boots facing Fundora this year is exactly the type of high-level fight that makes sense for the 154-pound division.
But I don't see anyone there other than potentially Boots, who I'm like, that guy is different. That's one of the best pound for pound. I see a lot of evenly matched action fighters.
Yes.
But like Fundora right now is sky high because he beat a very old Keith Thurman. Because before that, he was knocked out, flat on his back, in his division, same division, by Mendoza, who's a middle rate, you know, he's an okay fighter. Okay. He followed that up. He was losing to Tim Tszyu before the headbutt changed the fight, or the elbow changed the fight, the cut changed the fight. He got better in the Tszyu rematch. I give it to him. He looked very good.
Jaron Boots Ennis is looking toward the biggest opportunities at 154 pounds, and two opponents immediately stand out. Sebastian Fundora and Virgil Ortiz Jr., but with Fundora holding championship gold. A fight with him could offer Boots the biggest prize and the most significant opportunity at junior middleweight.
You fight Boots? Oh, you ain't up against no dinosaur meat, but you up against one of the athletic, strongest dudes at 147, from 147 to 154 pounds, man. For real. Yeah, you in there with a real one, dog, for real. He gonna be coming all night long. He can match his output, all of that, man. You tie him the hell up, boy. Damn. But yeah, you ain't gonna be able to do that with Boots, man. Boots gonna let them hands fly, man, from where they are. He ain't gonna fall in on your ass either. He gonna throw them combinations, boy. Them mugs gonna be fast and hard, bro. You gonna think he on that
Tim
shit.
Bradley, however,
after the
has
fight,
a major warning for Sebastian Fundora if he eventually steps inside the ring with Boots. And Bradley expects Boots to attack with fast, powerful combinations and keep the pressure constant. In his view, that kind of non-stop offense could make it extremely difficult for Fundora to clinch his way out of trouble or simply hold on until the storm passes.
If anybody want to fight, they're gonna make the most money fighting me than anybody else. So I feel like I'm the cash cow of this division, and I'm the best in this division.
What do you think of Fundora's style? It's very unique.
I mean, I don't know. Like, he's just tall. He's tall. So like I said, I haven't watched him, so I can't really give you sit here and like explain. Like when the time comes, I'll watch him. But as of right now, just from this little stuff that I be seeing, it's like he's just a tall pressure fighter. From the stuff that I be.
Boots Ennis doesn't appear intimidated by the challenge Fundora would bring. He believes their paths will eventually cross, but admits he hasn't spent enough time studying Fundora to provide a detailed technical breakdown. Boots recognizes Fundora as a tall fighter who applies pressure, but says he'll need to examine him more closely before fully understanding how to attack his style.
He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Talk about a guy who used to allow people to hit him and then has figured out that you shouldn't do that at the highest level in that Brian Mendoza fight. But since then, he's been very, very good. So, yeah, I can understand why people would see him as the final guy, because, again, with those physical advantages and the way that he's getting better, very, very difficult to deal with. Virgil, the inactivity really worries me because you got sharks circling. And Jaron, with the level of talent he has, he can beat any.
Chris Algieri takes that assessment even further, calling Sebastian Fundora the ultimate test for bouts at junior middleweight. Algieri points to Fundora's unusual height, tremendous reach, and improved discipline. According to him, Fundora has become much better at using his physical advantages while avoiding some of the unnecessary risks he took earlier in his career.
A lot of money and one of the biggest fights of the year, and it'll be a unification. So the belts are on the line. So then look, if the stars aligned and the promoters really want to make this fight happen, and everyone involved from the managers, then make the fight happen. The money's there. And it will be one of the biggest fights in boxing. Yeah. Well, normally it's the money that holds things up. Second, it's the location. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Vegas.
That's a West Coast fight.
Vegas.
I know, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a West Coast fight. Las Vegas, 100%. You'll get the money, and you get the attention. You get the hardcore, rabid fans. So what's the problem now? The money's taken care of. The location's taken care of. We have enough time.
Sergio Mora believes Bouts Ennis versus Sebastian Fundora has all the ingredients of a major boxing event, especially with multiple belts and unification at stake. Mora doesn't believe finances or the location should prevent the fight from coming together. From his perspective, the pieces are already there, and now the fighters, promoters, and everyone involved simply need to finalize the deal.
He has some witty, but I don't think he's the toughest one. I think Fundora is the toughest just because it's an uphill battle, no matter what. I know, no matter how you look at it. See, you can find guys that box a little bit like Josh Kelly. You can find guys Josh Kelly size. It's going to be tough finding guys Fundora size. It's going to be tough finding guys that are sitting the inside that's 6'6".
In the southpaw. Right.
Yeah, and a southpaw. So, yeah. And I'm just talking about preparation for any fighter, not just for Bouts. I'm just saying for any fighter. It's tough to find those type of guys that mimic, a Fundora. But
Greg Hackett believes Sebastian Fundora would present a greater challenge to Bouts Ennis than Virgil Ortiz Jr. His reasoning centers on a combination that's extremely difficult to reproduce in camp. Fundora's enormous frame, southpaw stance, and roughly 6 feet 6 inches height. Hackett believes that physical difference alone creates problems. Bouts cannot easily prepare for a normal sparring partner.
It has a style that it's not going to make you look good. I would say I favor Fundora on that one, man. It's a fight that's not going to be easy for Bouts because styles make fights, and Fundora lately, since he became champion, he's getting better and better and better. There ain't nothing stopping Fundora right now. I think the only thing that could stop Fundora is a pressure fighter that's not gonna give up and he's gonna keep coming, working the body, and just kind of pulling Fundora into a fight, pressuring him into a tough fight. I think that's the style.
Robert Garcia also views Fundora as a very complicated opponent for Bouts Ennis. Garcia believes Fundora's unusual approach can disrupt the rhythm of even highly skilled fighters and force them into uncomfortable positions. Although Fundora has continued developing since becoming a champion, Garcia believes sustained pressure could be one of the most effective ways to prevent him from settling into his preferred rhythm.
Ennis stays consistently looking really great so that he can move on into the picture with Fundora possibly. And Fundora, of course, is a very difficult guy to deal with. Listen, Fundora is going to be difficult to deal with for anybody. And so Ennis and Fundora, I really, really would get excited for Ennis and Fundora. That's a really good fight. And for me, that's not an easy fight for either of them. That's a tough fight to call, man. I don't know. I would love to know what some of the comments think at home. And don't be biased about just because one guy you like one guy over the other. I'm talking about seriously, from a boxing perspective. Ennis and Fundora. Listen, Fundora's an all-court fight for anybody because of the height and the power that he's got at that weight. But really, to break it down, it would be interesting, and it's a really weird, strange fight to try to figure out who has the advantage there. Because Ennis is streaking, but Fundora also
Paulie Malignaggi also believes a Boots Ennis and Sebastian Fundora fight could become extremely uncomfortable for both men. Fundora's extraordinary height, punching power, and unconventional style create problems that Boots normally faces, unlike anything he normally sees. And because both fighters continue to develop, Malignaggi sees this as a genuinely difficult matchup to predict with confidence.
6 feet, 6'1". Fundora's 6'6" in boxing shoes. Where do you find that at? With a jab, with an uppercut, with a hook. He's mean, he's battle tested, great conditioning, and he's improving in front of our eyes. With Fundora, the game plan is a little bit easier because he's so tall. He got to just, you know what I mean? He got to dog him. He gonna have to dog him. And believe it or not, Hines, sometimes the more difficult fight is the fight where you have to pick which game.
Raymond Edwards sees Fundora's physical dimensions as one of the biggest obstacles for Boots, and his unusual height, reach, and wide variety of punches make him especially difficult to prepare for. Edwards believes Boots will eventually have to close the distance, get inside Fundora's range, and use physical pressure to make the fight happen on his terms. The biggest question is which strategy gives Boots the best chance of neutralizing such an awkward and dangerous opponent.
Fundora. Yes. Virgil is that's Boot's style. He likes when people come to him. You know, he can use all his tricks. It's not gonna be nothing. You don't have to figure nothing out. It's gonna be right in front of him. But Ortiz is a warrior, so he gonna be like Xander. He gonna fight to the end.
You know, Danny.
But Fundora gives anybody problems. Just cause he's 6'7".
Danny Garcia also favors Sebastian Fundora as the more difficult test for Boots. Compared with Virgil Ortiz Jr. Garcia respects Ortiz as a proven and dangerous fighter who has been through serious battles. But Fundora creates an entirely different set of problems, standing around 6 feet 7 inches and fighting from a southpaw stance. Fundora's enormous physical advantages could make him a nightmare opponent for Boots.
Hands down. Hands down. He would have to punch up for one. For two, Boots, he really have to go chase his man down. It's always like they either the same height. The styles make it where as though they just like in the center pocket, middle of the ring, and they just going like skill for skill. You know what I mean? With this 7'8" tall guy, he like 7'8". He's not about to stand there. He might, you know, but Boots is really going to have to show a different side of his ability. He's going to have to walk forward. He's going to have to move his head a lot more, not just be defensive discipline, but he's going to have to work in between. He's going to have to be defensive and offensively equal.
Gary Russell believes the biggest issue for Boots could be the type of fight that forces him to fight. Instead of controlling the action from his preferred distance, Boots may have to constantly pursue a much taller opponent. That would require him to make adjustments in several areas at once, attacking while defending and finding ways to land clean shots against a fighter with such a major height and reach advantage.
Whoever made the call, I'm all for it. I'm all for the best fighting the best. People say Fundora is one of the best at 154. For some reason, they got your boy at number one at 154 when he hasn't got a belt there, you know, but it is what it is with Virgil being number one at 154, I think, according to Ring Magazine, whatever. But yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup. The styles makes fight is big, as we see in this matchup here. Fundora's what, 6'7"? Got what, a 90,000 reach, something like that. So I mean, this will be a big test, a biggest test for Boots of his career, of course, if he were to fight Fundora. All that focus, lack of focus, that bet not happen here.
Jason A.M. also sees a serious challenge waiting for Boots Ennis if the Fundora fight becomes reality. The dramatic difference in height and reach could create a fascinating clash of styles, but A.M. warns that Boots cannot afford to lose focus for even a moment against someone with Fundora's size and punching ability. One mistake could quickly turn into a dangerous situation.
Fundora, I'm thinking Boots should get him. I'm thinking if, you know, because Fundora more like, he kind of robotic, you know. And if you got a guy that can flash in on you, that can move with athleticism, that can throw him up, I think Boots that'll be perfect for him. You know, I think they've been moving him a little cautious, but I'm thinking he got it to do it. I'm looking for Boots to do it. I be looking for Boots. If I'm Boots, if I don't get the Xander Zayas fight, I want him next. Give me a tune-up, then give me
Bernie the boxer gives Boots Ennis the edge in a potential matchup with Fundora. Although he fully respects the danger Fundora presents, he believes Fundora's patterns can sometimes become predictable, creating openings that a quick and athletic fighter like Boots could take advantage of. Bernie also believes that if a fight with Errol Spence Jr. isn't available, Boots could benefit from having a tune-up bout before immediately jumping into a unification showdown with Fundora.